Hello all. Today I wanted to try out a few different simple tarot spreads using the Landscape Tarot that I used briefly but potently in my last video. Since that video, I actually needed to take a break and finally got to take some time, was fairly exhausted. It made me realize that there is not just a general need for self-care, but in any spiritual or divination practice, there also needs to be, self-care in place. I was feeling fairly unbalanced, right? And realized that, I spoke in my last video around boundaries and discernment. Well, there definitely needs to be some boundaries and discernment in this practice, this process as well. And so I also am finding that as I work with cards and learn more about what I can get out of the cards, I started actually journaling with pulling cards, and I did a card pull with the landscapes, and it was very helpful, very helpful. These cards are really, really powerful. That's the best way I can put it. And that's when I realized, oh, there's way more to do, here. And therefore, wanted to keep that as the focus. Actually, I just am really excited to share more of these cards. And so I also want to be mindful with keeping things a little more simple, back to the idea of boundaries and discernment. Again, depending on the power of the message, power of the materials, a lot can be revealed. Let's put it that way. And I am realizing that I also have to take in being ready for what's revealed, since there isn't always a primary focus. If it is a universal approach, I also tend to be part of that universal energy. So when I move into doing more specific or try out some zodiac specific readings, we'll see how that changes. But anyway, I do want to go ahead and just get into trying out the landscapes. Okay, so I'll take this way. And today's supporting stone, fittingly, right, is fluorite. And fluorite is good for, hello, beautiful fluorite. Okay, yes, okay. Fluorite is good for intention, electromagnetic computer stress. Woo, little side note, yeah, YouTube is stressful. Figuring out YouTube is stressful. That's all I'll say. It also helps with disorganization, and also removing just negativity. The nickname for fluoride is also the psychic vacuum cleaner, which I thought was pretty funny, but pretty fitting. So anyway, so I will go ahead and introduce the first spread. So I want to try 2 3-card spreads with just 3 cards, not pulling a bunch of cards. And then if it feels right, I want to also share the 8-card spread that is actually the idea of Francesca Mattioni, right? The developer of these cards. By the way, she has, oh my goodness, you'll probably see some of her other cards in my readings or my videos. Just wonderful. And if you'll indulge me 1 little second, I just want to read like the first little line here, okay? Entering the landscape, we are living in an age of crisis and wonder. Many of us only get to know the world when faced with the real possibility of losing it. So that really spoke to me, and is why I want to, again, honor these cards and also just share their beauty, their power. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and start shuffling. Oh, that's right. If there's time, there's a 8-card spread that is pretty interesting. So that's what I was trying to say. Okay. Oh, that's right. Sometimes I find I have smaller hands, so this style of shuffling seems to work better for me. Okay. I'm building up my shuffling confidence. Okay. One more. Okay. Because we're doing kind of tarot. Okay. All right. The other thing with this 3-card spread, so I will do the current situation, the advice, the future solution. They also encourage us to ask a question. I don't have a specific question, so my question tends to be, what do I need to know? And that'll open it up for quite a bit of, possibility. So, okay, let's see where this goes. Current situation. What do I need to know? And if we get more than one card, we'll just move it into the spread. Okay. Whoa, too many. Trying to stay focused. I was way too amped up by the power of the eclipse and the full moon. New moon, sorry. Yeah, it was almost manic. So trying to, again, be more mindful, stay more grounded, way more focused in the energies. Okay, what do we need for advice? What do we need to know for advice? What do we need to know for advice? What do we need to know for advice? By the way, when I pulled my cards for my journal experiment yesterday, all my cards had trees. It was cool. It was like a really cool flow in the messaging too. Maybe sometime. No, actually, I'm not going to share that. I'm going to keep that for myself. That's part of the boundaries and discernment. Some of this I get to keep for myself. There's always stuff going on in the background here. Okay. Advice. Oh, okay. And, let's see. Ones. I'm going to take that as maybe those two for the future, okay? It's a 3-card spread, but I take what's given. All right. Let's see. Put those there. Okay. Well, Ace of Cups. That's a pretty good start. That's the current situation. What do we need to know when it comes to the Ace of Cups? I do want to, again, use use all of probably the explanations from this amazing guide, because it's just, so Francesca Mattioni, make sure I'm not saying her name wrong, Mattioni, okay, I believe she's Italian. She's also, besides some news, really into tarot, witchery, some other, kind of things of, divination and occult. She is also, a writer and a poet, and perhaps that's why this comes across so sort of eloquent, right? But her descriptions are just so, so lovely. In an overgrown field, the clouds traveling over the sky are reflected in a pool. Or is it the pool that is reflected in the sky? It is the heart that watches through the eye. Filling the world with imaginative and emotional sense. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Don't have time for the whole thing, right? But just getting that sense of the eye. Is it this? Is it that? It's both, right? So the current situation is we are living in a dream reality. We are in a time of great unknown, but also a time of great wonder. There's a lot we can get out of the clouds, out of the grass, out of this beautiful pool, this depth, right? Current situation, what's on the surface versus what's below. This unassuming pool of water holds such depth, holds such wisdom. Okay. And, oh boy, wow, so I told you, these cards are powerful. There's all this grass on the plains, right? And maybe, this is like my YouTube channel. It's like, oh, it's there. It's magical. It's calling you to come in and jump in. But you may not know about it, right? We can't see it. It's not easy to find. Oh, okay. So yeah, current situation. Okay. On to advice. 6 of Wands. So again, I am trying to, learn and brush up on, tarot. 6 of Wands. This is the victory card, okay? And the advice is, this is leading to follow your path. Follow your path. Look at this, beautifully lit. It's lit by the butterflies, right? It's like, go this way, right? Go up the hill here. And again, here's this brightly lit part of the path, but then it's shaded. So it's this, you may not always see the path, and you may not know where it's going at times, but be assured, right? It is lit up. The lights are on. Come on home. Wow. Okay. That's really awesome advice. Okay. The future self. Wow. The future self. Okay. Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. Ooh, Knight of Pentacles. I will look at the little interpretation here, okay? And again, just love how beautiful these cards are, okay? As the sun prepares to set, an elephant drinks in the African savanna. Memories of species and foresight constitute his most precious reserves. Together with the water that sustains him physically, he moves to an ancient, primordial place that embodies it with the apparent slowness of his large body. In the landscape of the Knight of Pentacles, everything moves with care and meekness. The elements along the path are more important than the goal to be achieved. Ooh. So this future solution is part of the advice. If you follow the advice, it leads you to the solution, right? Slow, steady, mindful, present. Also timing, right? This sense of sticking to the basics too, right? Just here to drink, just here to meet my basic need. And these colors, stay on the path, follow the path, your internal path, right? What is your internal path? Okay. Ooh, could just jump on into that. Ooh, sorry. Just have to point out this beautiful pool, this reflection, right? Again, this beautiful pool, this reflection. These are, of course, it's all connected, but even the coloring, right? And with this card, being able to see your own reflection, but seeing a more magical reflection. Ooh, okay. I told you these cards. Okay. Queen of Wands. Okay, a little bit more to our solution. Let me see. Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands. Okay. Among the roots in the subsoil, a fox is asleep and dreaming. Dreams sprout from the ground like mushrooms and plants, which in turn communicate to the landscape of the Queen of Wands, feeding and keeping it alive. In this suspended forest, even while asleep, the Queen of Wands has more power than anything that moves fast and aims for the lofty heights. Well, even though Queen of Wands is holding all this kind of creativity, right? Imagination, ability for action, right? This sense of not even hibernation, but like incubation, just honing reserves. But also protected by the forest, feeling safe, feeling, this is reminding me of the nervous system, right? This is reminding me of down in a very safe setting, not activated, but grounded, the need to be grounded, the future solutions, stay grounded. But also going back, right? Self-care, rest, recuperate, restore. Because action is not infinite. Okay, action takes energy and effort and is depleting, right? And therefore you need to recharge. Okay. Nice. Nice. That is the first 3 card spread. Okay? Beautiful. All right. So, let's see what happens. So, now I'm going to attempt the more straightforward past, present, future. To me, it seems it's a little broader than the first spread, but similar, right? But curious to see what's going to come out. Okay. Oh, and because we've got those cards in there, let's just do a quick reshuffle. Okay, a little quick reshuffle. Okay. All right. A little bit more. Okay. Nice. Okay. What do we need to know about the past? Okay. Whoa. Let's see how many we got here. Again, we have 4. That's okay. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do that. Ooh. Oh, I don't want to do that. That's okay. That's okay. It's just the process. Okay. Okay. Ace of Pentacles. Ooh. Okay. Before I go to the interpretation, I'm just taking in the past, the present, the future, and the colorings. Much, much darker this time, right? Dark blue, dark blue, dark blue. Okay. This stone, this symbol, this light, this light, this light, this moonlight. Okay. Ace of Pentacles. Let's see. Remember, this is the past, okay? The solid stone of a, oh no, mentor, must be what this is called, okay? Menhir. I'll have to look that up. This must be a reference to what is a menhir stone. Okay. Okay, the solid stone of a menhir tells an arcane 1,000-year-old story, one of experiencing different peoples and seasons. It is a spiritual symbol, a meeting point between the different dimensions, a landing place and durable element. The labyrinth, okay, engraved on it represents the vastness of possibility and the fascinating complexity of reality. Within the landscape of the Ace of Pentacles, every project takes shape and grows safely over time. Oh. Okay. So we have connection to ancestors, and we have reminder of things moving through time. I know there's more there, but I want to take that in, okay? Take that in. This is right? The past, okay, history, right? Yeah, beautiful. Okay, Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles. Again, we're getting there, right? It's fairly positive, right? Gains, material gains, practical gains. 9 is good. We're almost to the 10. The light, right? The path forward. It feels dark and unknown, but the path is clearly lit. Follow this path. I didn't see this little guy, this little bird. This little bird, okay? In my card pull I did for journaling, I also got the image of a magpie, or a description of a magpie. And I really, really resonated with that. Magpies, like, being attracted to, like, hello, a bunch of shiny things, bringing shiny things into its nest. So now I'm thinking of this as like my magpie nest. Okay. Okay, back on focus. Okay. 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles. Okay. Oh, it's a thrush. Okay, a wise thrush sings on the branches of a flowering garden, indicating the entrance to a secret space. Like the protagonist from certain childhood stories, from the arch in the wall shines the golden light of a private place, one where treasures are kept and new adventures are conceived. Okay. Entering into a place of your dreams. Okay. Ooh. Okay, that's the present. Currently moving into possibility. Right? My last reading, I also touched on what's impossible becomes possible. So, yeah. This is the present. Take that as you will, okay? And just like our last spread, 2 for this 3 card. This makes sense to me. So for the future, let's see. So again, for a death card, right? The ending of something, or the ending of old ideas, or the ending of old, limiting, false or inaccurate sense of self, ending of one way of being in the world, right? Because this is such a we're at the beach, right? Here's a seagull, and this death card is probably the most like positively illuminated death card I've seen since doing this whole process, not just with these cards but all the cards I've kind of been working with. Okay, let's see. Oh, I didn't see this part. There's a little sea turtle. Oh no. I'm not gonna assume this seagull gets that sea turtle. Okay, this one's just flying. This is gonna make it to the water. Okay. Am I trying to control outcomes? It's in this paused moment of uncertainty, right? The future is uncertain, absolutely. But we got to go for it. This is what this card is saying. Go for it. All right? The inevitable, okay, we don't have control over that. But that water looks good. That water isn't, if you know anything about sea turtles, right? That water is essential for safety. They come and lay their eggs and scuttle back, back to the water for safety. Okay. Death card. Death card. Oh, front. Okay. There we go. Okay. The arcana of death is never a definitive end to something, but rather a critical stage of transformation that appears at least once in everyone's journey. It is challenging to start the necessary metamorphic process and know how to make the most of the transitions imposed. This landscape is placed between two realms, land and water. Okay, and then kind of what I was just saying about the turtle, the egg, the seagull, it kind of repeats it in here. So confirmation for me, confirmation for all of us, right? Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Kind of on the same page with the creator's intention. Okay. And this in combination with High Priestess. I have to say, I think I'm High Priestess is my favorite card in all of tarot. I'm so biased. I get so hyped up. I get so excited whenever I see High Priestess. So it always reassures me when I see High Priestess card. Okay, and again, it's at night, right? The moon, power of the moon, this quiet flow. Is this wisdom? Is this emotion? Is this just flow of life, intuition? This moonlight coming into, reality, right? Into yeah, this intuition, lighting up the intuition, this pool of wisdom, this pool of energy, this pool of just psychic depth. Okay, we'll leave it at that, okay? And of course, got the wise old owl. Hello. High Priestess. I really love these descriptions. They're magical. I don't use that word loosely. I never use that word, actually. But with this work, it's difficult to find other descriptors. Okay, High Priestess. The moon rises full and clear over the winter forest. The branches of the trees and the brambles stretch towards her, sheltering the secret waters into which she wades. The moon sinks into new visions in the fluid body of the landscape. A barn owl abandons her home among the stones of an old bell tower to rest in the branches and observe this mute dialogue between the elements. Again, there's more, but I want to be, a little more on top of my time today. What a lovely imagery, right? What a really expands on how to take in the sense of this picture. So yeah, within this critical point of transformation, one gains this gift. Okay. Take that in. All right, let me see. I think what I might do, right, because I am experimenting, I think I might end the video here and do a separate video for the 8-card spread. So if you want to see more of these absolutely gorgeous landscape cards in action, then please, here I am saying this video, I'm going to do the video next. Yeah, if there isn't a card spread video, please watch that. Okay, otherwise, thank you for coming into this energy today and experiencing the magic of Landscapes Tarot, and also a reminder again that self-care is essential, whether it is in your daily life, whether it is in your spiritual life. Okay? Protect your energies and protect your sanity. All right, take good care. Goodbye.